Well, thank you very much, Luke. Thank you very much to the organization, to Israel and the Serpentine. When Luke asked me said, what is the topic do you want to address? I said, fear. I said, well, why? I mean, because it's what I'm feeling. I mean, I was absolutely terrorized of coming here and talk to all of you. You scared me to death, you know. I mean, English is not my language. This is a very important meeting. I don't know what I'm doing here anyway, but in any case, I'm here. So the fact is that I'm going to make my revenge on you. I'm sorry. Provided that I'm coming from a country, Spain, where some of them say that we are a bunch of savages. So I've installed some sort of electric shock providers under your seats. So some of you are going to feel an electric shock sometime in my talk. And that's for I mean, when I press F1, you will feel a shock. So I may do that sometimes. I mean, I don't like the English, so. Well, the fact is that I'm going to talk of fear because this is one of the things that we work in my university and my department. Some of the patients that we have experience one of the worst feelings and emotions that we can imagine, which is fear, pathological fear. Even if fear is something which has helped us to be here after a long evolutionary history. Fear is an emotion that works as an alarm system, as to say, detecting danger and preparing our organism to fight or flight. This is the objective of fear. Fear has two sides. It has a cognitive and emotional, a conscious side, and a physiological one, including many processes that go on in our brain and our body. And these two sides have to be matched. They are very important. Some of us, in many other emotions, we need the physiological loop to feel the feeling, and in some pathologies, in some disorders, this disappears, and then at the end you have some sort of alteration of the feeling, of the emotion, and it doesn't work, and it makes you to have many problems. I'm going to do a chronology, a small chronology of what happens in the brain and in our body when we feel fear. And it's, so long as an emotion that has helped us to survive in different situations, difficult situations and very dangerous ones, it has to be very fast. It begins very early, with 20 milliseconds, and that for example, in the visual system, we receive the information from the outside world of a different thing that might be dangerous. Even if we don't know, we have no consciousness of what it is, nothing at all. But our visual system detects this possible danger, and it sends information to a structure, very evolutionary old structure called the amygdala in the brain. We have two of them, one on each side of the brain. Through this structure, which is called the thalamus, which sends information, sensory information to the brain. With 20 milliseconds, it's enough to advert this structure that there might be some problem. The code of the amygdala is not the code of our conscious conceptualizations. It's a code that we don't actually understand, but adverts us of different problems. The Capgras syndrome, who was mentioned before by Israel, has a problem here in the amygdala. And early as 20 milliseconds, this information is sent to other parts of the brain through the thalamus, as I said, by an unconscious processing through the amygdala. And this amygdala, without knowing what it is, sends information to a structure called the hypothalamus, which is very important for many things that we do every day: eating, having sex, metabolism, many things. And it makes a lot of processes that makes us be alive. But then we have also the cortex. It goes to the other areas of the brain, which informs us what it is. And this makes also some sort of connection with this structure and many others, so that we can regulate all these situations. So at 40 milliseconds, the amygdala sends information to this hypothalamus, and this hypothalamus allows us to prepare our organism to flight, fight, or just stay there to think. And through, well, a bunch of nerves that we have here, we send information to many different areas of the body, that our lungs get bigger, and our heart rate increases. Many of the physiological processes through adrenaline that allows us to prepare to this possible danger. And in 1 seconds, there are many other substances that began to affect the metabolism of our body and reacts to that. Well, the fact is that these things can go wrong. Because fear, it's this emotion that has to act very quickly, and it can go wrong in many situations and in many different ways. One is, for example, things that were detected a long time ago, which is the voodoo death, which exists. And it was in 1957, it was described in a medical journal as a problem of pathological fear. I mean, continuous fear to some sort of, in this case, social action that was going to go against us. And it was because it was maintained, all these processes of fear, which normally should last some seconds, and then we maintain that for many hours, and after that we can die. So the voodoo works through mechanisms of fear. But there are other pathological fear disorders, and these are the ones that we work with many patients who have many different problems. Like, these are pathological fear disorders: anxiety, in general anxiety, and one sort, very specific fear disorder, which is the panic attacks. The ones who have experienced it, it's one of the worst experiences that one can have. One believes to be dying, no reason about that. It can happen in any place without any reason. And I mean, the conviction that you're going to die is absolute, even if you reason and you think that there is no problem about that. Phobias also is a problem, a disorder of fear, and phobias can be specific to some sort of things or generally. And even the obsessive compulsive disorder has been related to fear disorders. Well, our group at Hospital del Mar in Barcelona detected some years ago one sort of association between one thing, which is joint hypermobility syndrome, and panic disorder. And this association was later related to some sort of chromosome disorder, to a genetic disorder in these patients. And the funny thing, and the one thing that I want to use here, because we normally do that with patients, is that this association with with this anxiety or panic attacks with hypermobility was very strong, was 4 times in the population with hypermobility than in normal population. And it's very easy to detect. And I don't know if you have been handed over some tests. Yes. Afterwards? They have, okay. Well, the fact is that what I want to do with you is an experiment with this. And it's very easy. In the first place, we are going to, if you want to participate in this experiment, afterwards I will give you the results through personal emailing because we have to correct them. But here we can do the first one, which is trying to look for you if you have hypermobility. They have 5 things that you have to check on yourself if you want to participate, which is it's called Peyton scoring, and it's very easy. These 5 movements, for example, this one. Can you do that? Can you show me? Come on. Yes? Yes? Well, then if you have a pen, point 1 if you can do that. Okay? 1 point for that. Okay? The second one is this one, which is this one here. Can you touch? I'm not very flexible, nothing flexible. So, can you do that? Anybody can do? Yes, that one. So, can you do that with both thumbs? Well, 2 points for you. So remember the pointing, and you will put it on the sheet of paper, okay? The third one is with how is it called, this finger? The what? Pink? Okay, if you can bend it through 90 degrees with both hands, 2 points more. Not really. Okay? Yes? Well, the 2 others you can know by yourself. You can do that, which is bending your elbow more than the line. I cannot do that, but yes? Gosh, we have here a beautiful. You could show us with all of that. Yeah. Can you bend more than that? More or less. I think that there you don't have points. Yeah? Yes? And then with your legs as well. But here, if you can bend it more than the horizontal line, then you have 2 points more. So you can point all of that. And then what I want you to do, I don't know now, but it's the sheet of paper you have. There is a test of faces where you see some questions on it, and you have to answer. Tick just the photographs, the pictures that you believe that respond to the pictures. Some of the pictures you will think that correspond to, the others not. And at the end of the 3 first pages, you have what is called a social phobia test that you can, if you want, fill with these 2 answers with for each question. And then the 3 last sheets of paper with photographs, you can leave it without doing, because we didn't have time to do the whole experiment, so it's only the first one. Okay, but we don't. I'm going to talk while make the ticking, okay? So when we finish, you can do it unconsciously. You have to do it as quickly as possible so that it's actually your real brain, no, your consciousness, which is the one who's doing that. Well, this kind of test, we are applying this kind of test to our patients in different paradigms so that we can see how different kind of anxiety profiles make us perceive the reality in different ways, and even change our conceptualization of things. And I'm now going to press F1 too. So, well, it was F2, so well, it was F1. And what we'll try to look for is if there is a relationship with these two things. This is a personal profile. 30% of women of the general population have joined hypermobility, which is it's benign. It's benign. It's no problem with that. And 15% of men have that. So, and it's a particularity of connective tissue development. And this relationship with anxiety disorders, we don't know yet, even if we have found that there is this association, if they are causally related or not. Maybe there is in the connective tissue development, it's an important part, maybe some of the enzymes that participate in this, in the brain development, which changes the fact of how our brain is. And well, that was all what I wanted to do. While we're changing, what we can do is you finish and hand over the sheet of paper. If you want to put your name, it's okay. It's going to be all personal information. If you want to put a password or a code name, it's all right. We'll send back the information to you when I'm back in Barcelona. And I'm no more. Oh, in the website. Okay, thanks.